All right, so this is a video about our electoral college project that we are starting today, Monday, and we are hopefully going to finish by Friday. This is kind of tentative. Things may change, okay, one direction or the other, because I might be adding things that I want you to do or taking it away. This is kind of the first time that I'm ever doing this project. So please be flexible with me and understand that things are going to change because this is the first time I've ever done this project, right? Y'all are kind of my guinea pigs. So, this project is going to be a test grade, right? I'm going to take some daily grades as progress markers because I'm not a big fan of, hey, let's just make everything due Friday and then you'll wait until Thursday night to do it. Okay, I don't like the rushedness of that, and I don't need to be doing that anyways. There will be some days that I'm like, okay, you have to have this done by the end of today. And that's when I'm going to be checking just to make sure you have it completed. Now, will I be checking for correctness on those? Probably not, but I'll give you more information on those as we get through. So probably end of tomorrow, I'm going to have you, make sure you do the first section, the population section, because it is just like it's very data driven and it should not take you very long to get it done. Let's see. When you finish, make sure you turn in the Google Doc and the Google Sheet. Please don't turn it in until you are like completely finished and ready for me to grade it. But let's look at what I am asking you to do. So hopefully, first of all, that you watch the 2 videos that were assigned on Friday. If you haven't yet, you need to stop this and go back and watch those first. Those you need at least a very basic understanding about the Electoral College and how it works. And hopefully you've gotten that throughout your history classes. If you're not a senior in government right now, you probably got a large dose of it this semester. But in general, the presidential election the president doesn't get elected by the popular vote, which is just every single one of our votes counted. They get elected by the Electoral College, which includes all of the House of Representatives and all of the senators voting. And it also includes 3 electors for DC, Washington, DC, right? So just kind of a side note, Washington, D.C. does not have representation in the House or the Senate. However, for this project and for our calculations, it was much easier to just say that they had 2 senators and 1 House of Representatives person. So just kind of note that. We'll go over that again. But here is what we're going to do. These are the questions that I'm going to have you do. There's about 12 questions. You're going to be writing stuff and like being able to justify your opinion on things. A lot of these, there isn't a correct answer. Some of them there are because we're looking at the math behind things, but a lot of these, there's not going to be just one correct answer. It's very opinion-based, which I know you're not necessarily used to in math, okay? But we're going to be looking at like real-life applications of math and spreadsheets because some of you don't know how to use spreadsheets yet. So starting out, it says population. How would you go about finding the median and mean for a group of data if you couldn't use Google Sheets or Excel? Okay, so you need to just tell me mathematically, how do I find the median? How do I find the mean? Give me a couple like complete, anything you do in this project must be in complete sentences, okay? Do not just give me very basic things. I want like complete nice sentences, capital letters at the front, use Y-O-U, do not use the letter U, you know what I'm saying, okay? Then the next 2 are actually calculate the mean and the median. And I tell you where to put it in C59 and then what equation to use here. Make sure you also type the answer here. When you do that, please just make sure you hit enter like twice or something just so that I can see it's very nicely formatted and I can easily see your answers. I know some of you like to highlight your answers. I'm fine with that. Actually, that would probably make my life easier if you did just highlight your answer. Say, okay, this was my answer.
Teachers, pardon this interruption, but at this time, we need all of the 9th graders that were absent, that need their pictures retaken to make their way to the foyer of the gym, and also any seniors that may have been absent, and any virtual learners that may be on campus to have their pictures made at this time. Thank you.
All right, sorry about that. So, also, the next 2 questions, all right, we have a city population for New York, and then what states are smaller than just that city? Same thing for El Paso, Texas. What states are smaller, have a smaller population than just that city? All right, then calculate the percent of total US population for each state. Okay, when we're talking about percent, how do you find the percent of something? You may remember? Well, you'll have to multiply by 100 eventually, but you don't have to do that for sheets, right? So all you have to do is take the part, divide it by the whole. So if you didn't watch that sheet, that Google Sheets intro video, it told you how to find the percent. To find the percent, you do the part divided by the total, and then we would normally multiply by 100, but then you're going to hit the percent button in Google Sheet. Okay, so it'll go ahead and do that for you, and it tells you what to round to, right? This tells you what to round to, rounding to the nearest hundredth, so that's 2 decimal places. So the first thing that you're going to have to do, so here's the sheet that I gave you, okay? The first thing you're going to have to do is find the total population and then do part divided by the total and then hit the little percent button up here and then change the decimal places as needed, right? So I showed you how to do that in the Google Sheet video. If you need to, go back and watch it again and take notes, okay? So this is what I expect you to have done minimum by tomorrow, okay? Today, it may just be us talking about each individual thing, okay? So this is the first thing. Minimum tomorrow afternoon, you need to have that done by. So just kind of giving you a brief overview. Oh, and tomorrow is the 27th, which is Tuesday. All right, calculate the next thing that we're going to do is calculate the number of electors. That's the number of the House and the Senate together. And how many electors total? Put it in cell G61 and type it here. How many total? That's what I want here, not all of the electors. Then it asks you for each state, look at the number of people per elector. When it says per, it means divide. Okay. Then it says, which is the smallest, which is the largest? Do you think this is fair? That's pretty much what you're going to do for the Senate, which has one extra question, and then the House. And then, do you think this is fair? When I say provide evidence, I want either mathematical evidence. Okay, so mathematical numbers. I don't think this is fair because this, state has this many per. This state has this many per. I want you to also provide other evidence that you maybe can research and look up and say, well, I think this is fair because it also doesn't include, our population doesn't include these people or these people or these people, right? This data is from the census, so it doesn't include certain groups of people. So that's part of it as well. Then, do you think that together the House and the Senate is an adequate and fair way to represent each state? Why or why not? Give at least 5 sentences. So then it talks about a tie. Then each state gets one vote, basically. Each state gets one vote. Now, do you think that's fair? Why or why not? Then once you finish this project, turn it in, right, on this doc and the Google Sheet into Google Classroom. Then bonus is if every elector in the state votes the same. So there are 2, remember we talked about this the other day, that there are 2 different states, New Hampshire, I think, and Maine. I think those I can't remember. I have to write them down. But there are 2 states that are the exceptions that the entire electors don't necessarily have to vote the same. They go by certain counties and stuff like that. So we're just saying if everybody votes the same in a state, then is there a possible way for a tie? And if you finish early, you will be expected to do the bonus. Okay, but this is bonus for a test grade. It is intelligent to be able to do this, okay? So here's the data sheet. It's color-coded. You just start looking at things. It has you at the bottom do this. Again, it says, note, DC has 0 senators and 0 for House, but it has 3 electors. So again, this one, we said that it had 1 House and 2 senators, although it doesn't. We're just doing that for calculation purposes for this class, okay? Then here's the bonus. If every elector in a state votes the same, is it possible for there to be a tie in a presidential election? If so, how would the states need to be split? So I want you to say, okay, California, Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana have to vote one way, and then New Hampshire, Maine, North Dakota, South Dakota, Oklahoma, Texas have to vote another way. That's what I want you to say. And then I want you to show me why. Like, show me the numbers, make sure they add up to equal, right? They have to be equal for it to be a tie, right? And then see if you can, so you're going to color this map one way, and you have to also put the number of electors in each state. So you're going to color it red or blue, right? Whether they vote one way or the other. And then how many different combinations can you come up with? I'll tell you this, the person with the most combinations will get extra bonus points. Okay, so keep that in mind. Also, again, test grade, everything is here that you need. I will be posting videos of, like, we'll have class conversations of whether things you think are fair, and I want people to start talking about it in class. Like, as a class, we're going to talk about what y'all think is fair and who thinks what's fair and who's not. And I will post those recordings on here so that the people at home can also get the good ideas from the discussion, and then they can put their discussion in as well. Okay. Do you all have any questions about this project so far? Okay. So make sure you go ahead and get started. Like I said, population section needs to be done by the end of tomorrow's class period. I will be checking at the end of tomorrow's class period, whatever class period you have. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to text over mind, email, ask me in class, come before or after school for help.